In this video, we're kicking off our 2-week trip through Montenegro and Croatia in the charming coastal town of Kotor. I'll show you what we did, what we ate, and how to make the most out of your time here, especially if you only have a few days in Kotor because we were only here for 2 days.
We made it! Oh my gosh, it's so warm already. We're in Montenegro!
Our journey started in London and things got off to a very interesting start because our flight was delayed for over an hour after we were already seated on the plane. But to make up for the wait time, the pilots actually invited the passengers to visit the cockpit and take some photos, so this was definitely not a bad way to kick off this trip. We landed at Town Airport, which is the closest airport to Kotor. Ubers don't operate here, so your best option is to get a taxi. The ride cost us around 50 euros, and most taxis here are metered, and they don't take card payments, so definitely make sure that you have some cash on hand. The drive itself was incredibly gorgeous. The road winds down from the hills, and as you descend, you'll start to see Kotor Bay open up right beneath you. I really wish that we could have stopped here for a quick photo because the view from up here was so beautiful. We just checked into our Airbnb. Our taxi ride took roughly about 45 minutes because there was quite a bit of traffic going through downtown Kotor. This view at this Airbnb is stunning. We stayed at an Airbnb just right outside of Kotor Old Town. When I booked it, Google Maps said that it was going to be about a 25-minute walk to Old Town and a 10-minute walk to the water, which sounded completely doable, especially us being from London. We're so used to walking everywhere. Until I realized how intense the August heat can be, because walking during the day was definitely a challenge, and we ended up taking taxis most evenings to get back to the Airbnb. So if you're visiting during the summer, I would highly recommend staying as close as you can to Old Town. It will save you the time, energy, and quite a few taxi rides. We're going to get freshened up just a little bit and then head down there to check out a few restaurants. It's about 1:30 p.m. and we haven't really eaten, so I am very hungry. It is quite hot right now though. It's like 100 degrees. I'm excited to explore, so let's go. My first time ever having seafood pizza. I'm so excited. Okay, we left the Airbnb to go get lunch and we were going to walk and check out the Old Town Kotor, but it was so hot. We were so exhausted we decided to come back to the Airbnb instead, just rest a little bit because it's about a 10-minute walk, but it was a 10-minute uphill walk, so we stopped at the store nearby to get some frozen mangoes, which is what we'll be snacking on while we basically recoup our energy before we head out. Oh my god, they're tiny. I thought they were gonna be little chunks. Oops. Oh, it's kind of sour. Oh, it's sour. Is it pineapple? Oh my gosh! The sun is about to set in about an hour. The temperature now is much cooler than what it was earlier today because the sun hasn't really set yet, but it already has gone behind the mountains behind me. And the vibe here, like everybody is just out swimming. There are people playing water polo. Yeah, really good vibes. This is a private beach area closest to Old Town, and you'll have to pay for the sunbeds, but the water here looks much nicer than the public beach area that is a bit more up north. It is a rocky beach, so bring water shoes if you do plan to swim. Even though we were here in August and it was really hot, the water was surprisingly still quite chilly. Towards the evening, you'll probably hear cruise ships honking as they leave the dock because during the summer, Kotor can receive up to 3 cruise ships a day, so do expect the Old Town area to be quite busy during the daytime when passengers are out exploring. We have been walking along the water and finally made it to Kotor Old Town. The entrance is right behind me through this little archway right here. Kotor's Old Town is surrounded by massive medieval walls. Inside, you'll find narrow cobblestone streets with mountains as your backdrop, and it honestly feels like stepping into a storybook surrounded by nature. You can walk along parts of the Old Town walls as well. So you have to go up to this restaurant for you to basically enter this wall that you can walk along the outer skirts of the Old Town Kotor. And this has a very, very nice view. That's the restaurant that we just came from. We didn't see any clear signs on how to actually access the walls, but we found an entrance near this restaurant, which unexpectedly led us to a very beautiful sunset viewpoint. Oh my gosh, I think we just spotted a whole bunch of cats. Number 1, kitty number 2. Old Town is also filled with lots of friendly cats roaming around. The cats here are so fearless and are completely unbothered by the crowds. So if you're a cat lover, this place will feel like heaven to you. Just keep some hand sanitizer with you in case you can't resist giving them a little pet just like this little boy. What's really cool about Old Town Kotor is that at night it becomes really lively. I'm walking around just trying to find a dinner spot right now, but every single corner that I turn, there's live music playing, which really adds to the atmosphere. It's a Monday night and everyone is just sitting outside enjoying their dinner, their drinks, listening to live music. It's such a great vibe. Delicious, and the portion size was huge, so we're taking them back to the Airbnb and hopefully we can just eat this for lunch tomorrow, or maybe feed the cats. Are we allowed to feed the cats? Now we have to find a way to get back to the Airbnb by getting a taxi, otherwise it's a 50-minute walk, which is a little too far. Okay, we're calling a taxi. it's day 2. Today we're doing a boat tour, a 3-hour boat tour. We're going to Our Lady of the Rocks and going through a blue cave. It's like a speedboat tour. I've seen a ton of people do this, and when you actually walk around town, there'll be a ton of signs for these type of tours. So it is a little bit touristy, but I do want to check out the blue caves and just be out in the water. So the guy that we bought our tickets with, he said to meet him at the agency in downtown Kotor so that we can all walk together as a group to go down to the water, because it can get quite confusing with all the different boat tours. I just want to make sure that we won't get lost. You can see my reflection in the back. That is how beautiful the view is ahead of me. Oh my gosh. And standing here in the shade early in the morning, it's still about 9 a.m. It feels so good because it's not hot quite yet, because yesterday we were just so drained from walking in the heat just for about like 10 to 15 minutes, going right down by the water to get some lunch. But yeah, and then once the sun went down, the temperature was incredible. So now let's go and explore day 2. Okay, so we're about to go on a boat, and it's a speedboat, so we don't want to get sick. So I brought this. It's a motion sickness patch, and you just patch this right on behind your ears and we'll do the trick. That's what it looks like. I've never done these patches before. I've always just taken like a pill, which honestly doesn't really work that well. Thank you. Somewhere in the back there, I know you can see. Alright, we'll see if this works. We just made it to our first stop, and there's a whole bunch of boat tours here right now. Not too busy though. It's basically a little island. Okay, so it was a little windy and you cannot hear what I was saying, but I was trying to explain that Our Lady of the Rocks is a small man-made island with a church built in the 1600s. And according to legend, fishermen found a Virgin Mary icon on a rock and vowed to build a church here. So locals still continue the tradition of adding stones to the island every single year, making this a really unique and historical spot in the Bay of Kotor. Most of the boat tours offered in Kotor will definitely have Our Lady of the Rocks as one of their stops. The water is so clear. The town over there that we pass on the boat is Parast. The Blue Cave is a sea cave near Kotor, famous for its glowing blue waters because the sunlight filters through a small opening and reflects off the seabed, creating this really bright blue water effect. Most speedboat tours will also stop here, giving you a chance to swim, snorkel, or just take in the experience. Overall, we really enjoyed the speedboat tour. It was 40 euros per person and lasted about 3 hours. I definitely recommend taking some motion sickness pill though, because the speedboats were incredibly bumpy and we were so soaked by the end of this. We're sitting here catching the sunset by the water before we go grab some dinner in Old Town. This is olive with garlic dip. This is complimentary on the house. Oh my god. I really like that. So we picked this restaurant without reading the reviews because my phone wouldn't load. But looks good so far. And then they also have live music as well.
First course is a fish soup.
This fish is really good. Risotto is not so good though. Our taxi just dropped us off at the Kotor bus station, which is close to Old Town Kotor, and we're about to catch our bus to go to Dubrovnik. We have made it onto our bus to head to Dubrovnik. We bought our bus tickets online and we got a QR code through email, but do know that when you come to the Kotor bus station, you still have to validate or exchange your ticket at the actual ticket booth to get a paper ticket, and that costed €2.20 per person. And then when we got into our bus, we had to pay €2 for a big bag or a checked luggage. Anything that's basically going to go under the bus is what you'll have to pay for, but a backpack, a purse that you're going to keep with you, you don't have to pay for that. So just account for a few more euros for your journey, and this journey to Dubrovnik should take roughly about 2.5 hours depending on how busy the border control is. Hopefully it's not too busy because it is quite early. It's 8 a.m. right now. I also recommend to get to the bus station a little early. We got here about 30 minutes early just to account for some wait times and then to make sure that you get a really good seat on the bus. It's been a really great time in Montenegro. I do think that if you want to just check out Kotor, 2 days is probably enough. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you have enjoyed coming to Montenegro with us. We are on our way to Croatia right now. We're going to be there for about a week visiting a whole bunch of places. So if you have enjoyed this video, then you most likely will enjoy my Croatia videos as well. So hit that subscribe button and I will see you at my next travel adventure. Bye!